Alright, people, you know what I'm doing. There's only one answer, and I'm going to Taco Bell. Okay? There's only one thing that puts me in a good mood. So, but anyway, let's talk about it. Might as well. Number one, credit where credit's due. The Pittsburgh Steelers played phenomenal. I thought they were frauds. I thought, well, you played nobody, and you played them close. Could the Browns be terrible? And, we think we're good? Sure, maybe that's a possibility. But I think the Pittsburgh Steelers, as much as I hate to say it, I think they really are contenders. Just based off of the fact that when they need to turn it on, they can turn it on. Ben's not making mistakes, even though he's not, in his prime or whatever. He's still sitting back there, knowing where the ball is supposed to go and getting it there. So credit to the Steelers. So let's. Number one, I don't know what Kevin Stefanski was thinking, because that game plan seemed to be everything that didn't work throughout the season thrown into one game plan. You don't run the ball. You don't do hardly any play action. You force Baker, who's maybe 6'1", to sit back and try to be a pocket passing quarterback. So number one, the play calling was not good. Number two, the offensive line. This offensive line is a good line. They are a good line for what they're supposed to do, meaning a zone run blocking line, play action off of that. That's their skill set. They're not a drop back, give you a bunch of time in the pocket to throw. That's not all of these guys across the board on this offensive line are your big athletic, well, maybe not big, but your athletic, physical offensive linemen. So they did not perform well at all. And then number three, Baker Mayfield was terrible today. He was beyond terrible. And yes, he played hurt, and I do believe what I said was correct, that he was injured. He was more injured than what they said going into that game, which is not really like a bold prediction at all. But it was clear to see that, if you watch closely, like I can't remember when it was, but he threw a ball, didn't get touched, and then next thing you know, he was, like that, just kind of, and it was clear to tell he was hurt. I don't care what he says in the post game. He played hurt. He was hurt. He felt it. So is he going to say that? Sure. That's what every quarterback's going to say. It ain't the truth. Yeah, he was not good. He was staring down guys. He was making brain-dead decisions. He played scared. He played terrified. And it wasn't till later on, before he was eventually taken out of the game, that it seemed that he was finally starting to just calm down a little bit and try to hit your open man, do what you can. But he was not good. He wasn't. And I was so happy that Case Keenum got in the game, because all of these people who have been crying for Case Keenum forever finally got what they wanted. He got in the game. And he got in the game for an entire quarter, and I believe maybe a couple minutes left in the third quarter, and then the entire fourth quarter. And yes, the game was over at that point, whatever. But Case Keenum is not a good quarterback. He's not. He's good to come in, if your quarterback gets hurt during the game, whatever, needs to come out on the sideline, get checked. he can come in and not cost you a game. He's not a good quarterback. He's been on 2 teams since Minnesota, which was 3-4 years ago, and he's sucked on both. He wasn't the answer. He's not going to be the answer. You know, we can have a conversation about Baker long term, but as far as Keenum for the rest of the year, no. Case Keenum is not your starter. Baker, you know, it's starting to get to that point where you see things and then you see, you see some good things and then you see a lot of bad things. You know, obviously I'm a guy who believes in Baker. What I seen today was a scared, hurt, short quarterback who played like a 12-year-old little girl who's never played the game of football before. I don't think, you know, people are just going to say, oh, Baker sucks, Baker sucks. I'm not going to judge him off of one game, good or bad. I'm going to take this season, evaluate, obviously, the previous years, but take this season, and if he doesn't show you signs of stepping up, then it's time to really start talking. I know there's a lot of you who've been saying since game 1, you don't know football. You don't know what you're talking about. But for this season, number 1, Case Keenum's not your answer. Case Keenum's not going to be able to do the job. He's not good enough. He was missing. You know, Baker hasn't done a good job either, you know, obviously, but the talk about there's no quarterback controversy. Case Keenum is not better than Baker Mayfield. If you want to talk long term, that's different. We can have that discussion. But there is no quarterback controversy for the rest of the season. You're gonna take this year, see what you can see from Baker. If you believe in him, great. Take the 5th-year option, see what you can work with next year. I don't know if he'll get extended. At this point, I doubt it. I would guess they would see what they can do. But if you don't see enough to make you feel good in him being the guy long term, then you find somebody else. You're not going to be drafting one because you're going to be picking lower, and that guy is not going to be good enough to come in and start day 1. So all these people saying Justin Fields, you're going to have a top 5 pick to pick Justin Fields, probably top 2 pick. So the game as a whole, I didn't think it would be a blowout either way. But like I said, Baker was more hurt than what they said. That's not an excuse. He's got to play better. Cincinnati is a game that he should be able to bounce back. And listen, all eyes are on Baker for Cincinnati. You know, if he's good to go and he can play, he better perform. It's just the truth. I'll talk more about this later. See you in the next video. Bye.